Welcome, friends, to the Beaver Dam, and we have a little bit of an interesting video for you today. So, Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka is coming, and Tuscan Meathead has been teasing the kit reveal for the last couple of days. We will be getting it by the end of the week, so I wanted to make this video now, just as a fun little thing. We have all of our requirements out. I am obviously, from these requirements, I'm obviously not going for Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka myself. This is one that I'm sitting out on, and I'm working on some characters that are a little bit more helpful to my roster, filling out some of the holes in my roster, as a lot of you should be doing. But, Tuscan Me has been posting things like this where it's like, oh, here's a little image from the kit reveal and things like that. So we're getting close to the kit coming, and so I had a question. We have our very own AI. His name is Theo. He's helped us out with our GAC as well as trash talking chat as they play my GAC, and it's been a damn good time to use this just as a fun little side thing. But I went in to Theo and I was like, yo, hey Theo, I need you to make up a kit reveal for Galactic Legend Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka. Below you'll find the kits of his teammates. Please format it like a kit reveal. Give him synergy with his team and specific synergy with Prophet, as well as giving him one new mechanic that's not currently in the game but has flavor associated with Hondo and or pirates in Star Wars. Make sure each ability has make sure each of his abilities are not just synergistic, but also the names are what they should are what they do should sorry, brain not working. The names and what they do should at least loosely reflect important moments or quotes from character Hondo Ohnaka. He is a Galactic Legend, so make sure he has 7 abilities like all other GLs, and line that out. I have tried like 4 times for him to revise this. He cannot get the Galactic Legend passive correct, which is fine. He almost nailed it the first time, but he like reduced percent damage effects by like 50% instead of 100%. Or not 100%, but like whatever the percentage is in game. And so like this one's actually kind of been a struggle to get him to get in there. And then I gave him the kits for the team, which is, Captain Silva. So I gave him like the entire kit reveal for all of the other characters that will be on Hondo's team, that we're at least assuming are on Hondo's team. So I gave him Silvo, Vane, Brutus, and SM33 to give us a kit reveal. And so we're going to jump down to the kit reveal now. He originally before I fiddled with it a bit just because I wanted to make sure it made sense. I haven't read through the whole thing. I just checked the new mechanic essentially, and then I was like, yo, I need you to change this because the new mechanic doesn't really make sense. But he literally came up with like the key attributes. We heard you like Prophet, so we're introducing the most profitable pirate in the galaxy as our next Galactic Legend. Get ready to negotiate, intimidate, and celebrate your way to victory with the one and only Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka. Galactic Legend, leader, pirate, scoundrel, support. Key attributes: Hondo Ohnaka is the 10th Galactic Legend, a master strategist who manipulates friend and foe alike for maximum profit. He introduces a new unique mechanic where we had him change this just because the original one he came up with didn't make sense without me explaining a certain mechanic in game. So we fixed that up. We gave him a new mechanic. Transform the Pyro Faction into a top tier meta team, powerful synergies. Like he even did like the inspiration of like what inspired this character. Like he's one of the devs. Like I loved this. This was so much fun to like go and like see him come up with all of this. Like he's one of the devs. The AI does a really good job of kind of like taking that idea, which this is a very common thing for AI. I'm not going to be like hugely proud of this, but like AI in general as we currently have it is really good at making caricatures of certain people. So you could go into like ChatGPT and be like, hey, can you pretend to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and give me wisdom about my life? And he whatever AI you have, it'll do that. It'll be a caricature of Obi-Wan, and like a very, very much like a Obi-Wan dialed to 11. and it won't have like the subtle nuance of the character. They're getting better with that, but usually the paid for models are the ones that you're going to be able to see that kind of level of nuance. So this isn't like super impressive, but I did think it was fun to see them, like, you know, copy the overall tone of the other kit reveals and do that type of thing here. So very enjoyable. Let's jump down to the kit reveal after I got the one mechanic fixed, and I was like, yo, let's fix this mechanic. Okay, so jumping in, we're gonna see if we are correct, if Theo can correctly guess at least some of the mechanics coming to Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka. I'm very curious, and there's a really cool mechanic in here that I think is really fun and an interesting idea. I don't know if it's actually that good, but I do think it's really cool and fun. So, basic. What an enterprising young man. Final text. Deal special damage to target enemy and inflict speed down for 2 turns. If the target is already debuffed, Hondo gains 1 stack of profit. Call the other pirate ally with the most stacks of profit to assist. So whoever has the most stacks of profit on the team will get called to assist on his basic. Special 1, speak softly and carry a big blaster. I love the names of these abilities and like the flavor, and that's something I think CG has always done a great job with, and I'm glad it's coming through in Theo's thing as well, is the little flavor, the little quotes they use, that kind of stuff. I've always loved that. It's great. Final text. Deal special damage to target enemy and inflict them with extortion fee for 3 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. All pirate allies gain 1 stack of profit. The target enemy already had profit. They are stunned for 1 turn. Which I honestly, if the target enemy already had profit, I think this is more of a Moz thing, isn't it? The profit on the enemy. I thought that was more of a Moz thing. So I don't know if this is calling out a piece of the kits that I'm forgetting for the other ones, because I haven't, like, I'm not super in depth into the Pirates kits right now, just because A, I'm not getting them, and B, they are massive. I like skimmed through them, but I thought that was a Moz ability, that the enemy having profit. So maybe this is for mirror matches. I don't know. Extortion fee. Whenever this character gains a buff, so this is the one that they're applying on the enemy. Whenever this character gains a buff, they also gain a stack of damage over time, stacking which can't be resisted. Whenever this character uses a special ability, all pirate allies gain 2 stacks of profit. So this is actually really interesting. So by like the enemy using their abilities, you gain profit, as well as the damage over time stacking whenever they gain a buff. Sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. Like, kind of, you know, forcing them to take damage because of the buffs they're gaining, and then you're also stealing those buffs as time goes on with how the kits for these characters work. You know, the whole idea of the pirate faction is stealing the enemy's buffs and applying them to yourselves. And so I thought this was actually a really cool, unique mechanic. You know, it'd be interesting to see for sure. I like reading this kit made me think, like, just so far as we've gotten, like with the first 2 abilities, it's possible that like CG uses this for kits. Like, I could see that, and this is not like the top end model of AI. This is Gemini. It is Gemini, which Gemini is good, and it's one of the top competitors, but it's not the most recent version of Gemini, if I recall. And so there could be something that's even better than this. And so I honestly, with like today's society, I wouldn't be surprised if they were taking this as a basis and getting like inspiration from AI at this point. I don't know. We'll see. We are pirates. We don't even know what that means. Cooldown of 4 and a Zeta. Special 2. Final text. Dispel all stacks of profit from all pirate allies. Deal special damage to all enemies. This attack deals 10% more damage for each stack of profit removed. Inflict all enemies with armor shred and buff immunity for 2 turns. This attack can't be evaded. If this attack defeats an enemy, all pirate allies gain critical damage up and offense up for 2 turns. Now, this sounds like something that you'd use at the beginning of battle to immediately like stick armor shred on all enemies, and then you'd kind of save it for the next time you'd use it until you have a whole bunch of stacks of profit. I'm curious how I'd use this, but like this sounds really gross going forward, like, because all of the kits of all the different characters, all of them have mechanics that are just like, oh, if they're under Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka, if they're under Maz Kanata, things like that, they remove their like max stack of profit cap, and so they can just keep stacking profit. And so if we look at like extortion fee, you know, pirate allies getting 2 stacks of profit is really good. That's all pirate allies. And so like, we use this, we'll say the enemy gets 2 full turns around the board before he comes back to this ability, because he's a GL, so he's going to take more turns than normal people. So we'll say 2 turns. That's, let's see, how many stacks of profit? 2 times 5 is 10. That's 20 stacks of profit per ally. So if you were to open up on the opening play and you speak softly and carry a big blaster and apply extortion fee, it's only whenever that character. Okay, that's less broken. So that's like 4 stacks of profit for each person. But even so, like, without any other profit stacking from any other characters, we are talking about 4 stacks of profit among all your characters. And so 4 stacks times 5 is 20 stacks. That's 200% increased damage. And that's just from that ability alone. So this could be like really gross and could be a way to like basically ramp up a AoE that kills everyone off. I don't know. This might be a little overpowered. He is a support, so he's not going to have high damage. This might be kind of like Tarkin's AoE, where you kind of have to build it up if you really want a big hit. And so, like, you know, this might be something like that. I'm kind of curious what Theo has in mind for this. Leadership ability, Ohnaka Gang, at your service. Final text, pirate allies have plus 40 speed and plus 50% max health, which will feed into, like, the max health stacking from, like, Vayne, I believe it is. No, Brutus. I think it's Brutus that has the max health. No, it's Silvo. Getting all of them confused. There's so much text in those kits. Whenever an enemy attacks Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka, all other allies gain 1 stack of profit, which kind of leads also into the whole, there's a couple characters, Brutus has the same thing of, you know, whenever Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka is attacked, he gains more, I think, defense penetration or something like that. I don't remember. Whenever a pirate ally falls below 50% health for the first time, they gain damage immunity for 1 turn. Okay, so kind of like a ray mechanic. The first time each other pirate ally is defeated, if Hondo has at least 10 stacks of profit, he loses 10 stacks of profit and revives that ally with 70% health and protection and grants them stealth for 2 turns. Interesting. A revive in Hondo's leadership. This is a very short leadership ability. I feel like this leadership ability should be at least like 2 to 3 more paragraphs if we're looking at the real Hondo's kit. Like, I like the speed, I like the max health. I think that works really well. And the profit thing where it revives, that feels like it should be part of the unique. I gotta be honest. I feel like this kit is missing a good deal of its leadership ability. I think there's more to this leadership ability that will be there. But I could definitely see the speed and the health coming in the actual kit for Hondo Ohnaka. And I really like this idea. I do, because this team doesn't have a revive right now. And it would be interesting to give them a revive. Unique 1, Insolence, we are pirates. Final text, another one. This feels very short. I feel like it's kind of basing, when it's going through this, it's basing this kit off of the kit reveals that we gave it, I think. And so it's giving it very short unique abilities like most characters have. So I can see why Theo did this. I think we'll see significantly more in Hondo Ohnaka's overall kit. Hondo has 100% counter chance whenever an enemy gains a buff, gains 1 stack of profit at the start, or at the end of his turn. Hondo recovers 5% health and protection for each stack of profit he has. Pirates allies are immune to fear. I wouldn't be surprised to see the immunity to fear, and Hondo recovering health and protection each stack of profit he has is actually a really cool mechanic, and I really like that. We're going to skip Galactic Legend. We know what Galactic Legend does, and Theo does not. So we're going to skip that. Ultimate. One of you is wearing a very expensive hat. That is, like, such a great title for his ultimate. It's so dumb. But, like, I really love that title for his ultimate. Ultimate charge. Hondo gains 1% ultimate charge whenever a character gains a stack of profit. He gains 10% ultimate charge whenever a pirate ally is defeated. Interesting for overall mechanics wise, you know? Very, very interesting. The way this kit's looking is like you'd have to blitz down Hondo and kill off Hondo really quickly and ignore his team because he's going to be reviving characters. He's kind of like a veteran smuggler, or not veteran smuggler, Vandor Chewbacca kind of style character, but in the leader slot. So you kind of have to try and blitz down him, but like you're also dealing with, is it Brutus that works like a tank but not a tank, where he equalizes health every time someone else is damaged? So like it's gonna make him that much harder, especially with the stacking health and the 50% increased health. So this is kind of an interesting kit, I gotta say. Final text: Hondo dispels all debuffs on himself, recovers 100% health and protection. So this is his ultimate, and enters Kingpin's ransom state for the rest of the encounter. While in this state, Hondo's abilities are upgraded and he gains a new special ability, the Price of Freedom. The Price of Freedom cooldown of 10 consumes 30 stacks of profit from Hondo. Instantly defeat target enemy. This ability can't be evaded, resisted, or prevented. This ability is on cooldown at the start of the battle, and if the target is a galactic legend, instead remove 100% of their turn meter and inflict fear for 1 turn. I do think this second part of the target's galactic legend feels a little underpowered comparatively, because we have, like, you know, the Jabba dealing damage, but like, to be fair, this is not his ultimate. This is a granted ability by his ultimate, so I can see this being just this. So the instant defeat, it's a 10-turn cooldown, so if the team doesn't have a ton of ways to reduce cooldowns, so I think this isn't a bad thing. Consuming 30 stacks, it seems like 30 stacks would probably be pretty easy in a kit like this. So overall, I don't think this is a high barrier to entry or a, like, you can spam it kind of thing. Not a bad granted ability, getting an insta kill on this, but it just feels kind of like a better Jedi Master Luke almost. Like a Jedi Master Luke mixed with, like, Mandalorian, you know? And then the upgraded abilities. So on the basic, it's going to be the same thing, except that Hondo and the other pirate ally with the most stacks of profit gain 2 stacks of profit. And so that'll start stacking profit even more, and then you still call that other pirate to assist. With today, we settle all my debts. Deal special target spell all power for each debuff spell. It gains 1 stack for inflict all enemies with extortion fee for 3 turns, which is wild. That's going to be so much profit so fast. Holy crap. Okay, I'm so proud of you and so rich. Dispel all stacks of profits on. Ooh, it ups it to 15% more damage per profit removed. So you're increasing your profit stacking with more extortion fee. You're also increasing your damage from the AoE, making this much more likely to kill people. And then inflict all enemies with armor shred and buff immunity. This attack can't be evaded. This attack scores a critical hit if it defeats an enemy. That doesn't necessarily make sense, so we're just going to ignore that. But we're going to say if the attack defeats an enemy like it did before, they gain advantage as well. So it looks like it ups the damage by 5% and adds advantage among critical damage up and offense up for 2 turns, which is nice, which means they're going to get 1 big hit after this for, like, each character. So yeah, there's Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka's kit. I'm very curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Do you think this is going to be somewhat like, you know, like we're gonna see? I think that the leadership and the, like, I think this piece should go into the whole revive thing, should be part of his unique and not part of his leadership. And I think the leader and the unique are going to be much longer, but we're gonna have some heavy profit stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get some, like, you know, assists on most stacks of profit. That sounds like a pretty, like, interesting and plausible thing. This would be a really cool thing to have, but I'm just worried that you might ramp up too fast. But, like, if we're looking at, you know, a support who doesn't deal much damage, because this is not like, you know, you're dealing damage equal to a specific stat. It's just equal to the amount of profit that you have, essentially. And so it's probably going to be a fairly low base damage as a support. And and then just adding that on with all the profit, you could end up getting some really wild hits in the late game, but you're gonna have to stack up to that in the late game as people, you know, utilize profit and, you know, get more on themselves. This could be really damaging. So I think this would be a really cool mechanic. I'm just a little worried it'd be a little overpowered, but overall I like the flavor for sure, and I love that Theo was able to like kind of caricature CG in the style of this. So we'll take a look at Hondo's kit when it comes out, and we'll compare and contrast, see which one we prefer. Throw down in the comments section if you're watching this after Hondo comes out. Throw down in the comments section, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the CG, or do you prefer Theo's version? And here's to hoping that Hondo is hype, because we need some hype during this pirate era where pirates aren't that hype. So I'm really hoping this team is fun to use, and big hits like this are one of my favorite things in the game. You know, having that type of stuff is just really, really entertaining. Trying to, you know, get the massive hit from Tarkin during the testing with Tarkin was amazing. Ramping up with SLKR, so much fun. And so having an explosive ability like this is a lot of fun, and so I do hope there's something like this in the kit. But regardless, I'm really hoping that just Hondo is a lot of fun. But throw in the comment section whether you enjoyed this kit. Do you think we should do this for each new legendary character and big character coming out, and see if we can't predict some of the mechanics and see what AI has to say about this? Because I thought this was a lot of fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for giving a damn. And hey, Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka coming soon to a theater near you. I'm excited, and honestly, I'm kind of hoping that my theory is correct and that Disney's about to do something with Hondo, whether live action or show-wise, considering that they announced Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka, and then the same day, Disney posted a Hondo Ohnaka edit on their social media. So, hey, maybe that's coincidence. Maybe that's Disney pushing Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka in preparation for something coming to the live action or shows that are going to be announced soon. I don't know. We'll see. It's just little theories from Beaver. But thank you for giving a damn, and I'll see you in the next video.